Foot Clan, welcome to show 500. Oh!
Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast, coming to you from Draft.com Studios with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Oh! Welcome!
What was
Oh!
Yeah. Love
555? Are you out of your mind?
That was show 199.
Oh, that's right. That's
Shout
right.
out
Welcome
to
in.
Denny's.
It's the show you've been waiting for. Thursday, June 7th. The June 7th show is the one you were really... Oh! Welcome in to show 555. Oh! It's a good one, too. We have early sleepers on the podcast today. Going to jump on the hype train. And I'm going to let these two fine gentlemen, Jason Moore is here, and Mike, the Fantasy Hitman, they're going to break down some of this hype and whether they buy any of it.
Are we shoveling coal into that steam engine?
Or not. Yeah.
Or are we
Does
hitting
a
the
steam
bricks?
engine use coal? Wouldn't that be a coal engine? I'm no engineer.
I believe it is you pump the coal in so it gets real hot and then it creates steam.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then it uses the steam.
Yeah.
I don't know. This was not me mocking. This was me asking.
Somebody's never
in a
seen Back to the
mocking
Future.
voice.
Everything I know about trains is from Back to the Future 3, which also means there are trains out there that can fly.
I
do-
have deleted that from my memory because it was so inferior to the predecessors.
By the way, it's going to be a great one. We have some very important things to address first. By the way, I also wanted to ask this.
My goodness.
How many first downs did Ezekiel Elliott and LaShawn McCoy gain last year?
Wait, is this a total number?
Individual or
How
combined?
many first downs did each player gain last year? I'm just curious.
I know where this is going.
I just wanted to bring up some stats from last year. We'll bring up some more as the show goes on.
You know what that says to me?
What?
Zeke is pretty good at fantasy football because
Why
One
didn't
of
you
those
take
guys-
LaShawn McCoy out of there?
what?
Oh, because he missed so many games.
Yeah, one was suspended for a while.
Oh, it's funny because it's the exact same amount of sacks that the Jaguars had last year.
How many?
All right, first of all, we had some very important things happen on the show.
Yes, we did.
I guess we're going to jump into that one.
Look,
We
last
had a-
episode was great.
Yeah.
Minus one person.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree. Andy, I think you had a great show on the last episode.
Yeah, Mike, great show.
You nailed it.
Thanks.
How did I do, guys?
Oh, you
I
fantastic.
thought you were great.
Great show, Jason.
One person missed the mark. Now, I brought up the fact that the North Midwest is just replete with tunnels. So many tunnels. And Brooks, coming from Michigan, of all people would know that all of these college campuses have tunnels throughout them.
He said there were no tunnels.
Now,
I
you
remember.
said there were no tunnels, Brooks, and then the world spoke, and I have set a world record for tunnel tweets coming my direction.
Tunnels
Also,
was
in a-
actually trending on Twitter.
addition-
Tunnels
to that.
were trending.
In addition
So
to that,
tunnels exist.
Well, you know
Go
what?
on.
Wherever I went to acting school, we didn't have them.
Oh, okay.
So
yes,
All right.
the Judge
Oh.
Giamatti
Hollywood.
has many hats he wears, and one of them is the judge hat, where or would that be the judge robe? Do they wear?
Yeah.
They don't have hats.
Judges do not have hats.
That would
Jason.
be awesome. Judges.
They had wigs at one
Popes
time.
have hats.
But anyways, Judge Giamatti
Giamatti.
also, and this is the far more important one.
Yeah.
He ruled against
What's
one of the greatest player names ever created on this show. And let me remind the people that both of you two also were on his side on this.
I am also the
Thank
one
you.
going when
Yeah.
you said one of the greatest of all time. But
Turok, Cohen, the
well,
dinosaur,
let's just go.
the dinosaur hunter. Look,
Let's head back to the courtroom.
Sure. I took this above the judge, and I went to the Supreme Court. And if you're
Yeah.
asking who the Supreme Court is, it's you. It's the Foot Clan. And the Foot Clan spoke.
Well, we have the actual ruling in tow here. So, Brooks, would you
Yep.
mind?
First, I'll revisit a classic Jason Moore quote, which is simply that the Foot Clan can move mountains.
You're darn right.
And so with that, upon appeal and public pressure, the ruling on Turok Cohen is officially reversed.
All right. Jason's standing up and clapping.
Yes! Turok Cohen, the first official nickname of 2018.
This show, of all the shows, is going to get away from us the easiest. How many yards per game did Lamar Miller average?
We're going back to this.
How many yards per game did Lamar Miller average in 2017?
Man. Oh,
It's an interesting fact.
I'm going to guess 5 more than 50.
55! Oh! All right, we're going to get into the rest of the show. Follow us on Twitter at the FF Ballers. If this is your first time,
we apologize.
It'll be your last time. Welcome in, and here we go. Let's get on the hype train. All right, here's a bunch of news that has come out over the last few weeks. Some of it has, it's not news. It's hype and information and things that didn't constitute a full news and notes segment on the show, but things we want to bring your way because maybe you have a player on your team already and you just want to get excited. But let's start here. The Lions running backs coach, David Walker, believes second-round running back Kerryon Johnson can be a 3-down player. Does it matter that he believes this?
Yeah, I mean, it matters to a degree. He's the running backs coach, so he's not the one calling, he's not the offensive coordinator. He's not the head coach. He's not the one completely in charge. But whenever you have someone that is in that room, in that group, that is saying that a player can be a 3-down player that they traded up for in the second round, I do believe that it matters. And the Lions have to change their personality as a team. I know that they kept the offensive coordinator intact, but they went and they got a defensive-minded head coach. They trade up for a running back. They improved the offensive line. I mean, I've said this before on the show. My love for Kerryon Johnson is it knows no bounds. And yeah. Look, don't cry no more for LeGarrette Blount. He will be supplanted this season.
That is
by
such
Kerryon
a
Johnson.
bold take.
I don't think it's a bold take.
I don't think
that Blunt will be supplanted.
You don't think it's a bold take
No.
to say that Kerryon Johnson, this hype train, which is what it is, he's going to supplant a free agent running back that they brought in.
Yes.
He's going to supplant a third-down running back that's been one of the most productive in the league in Theo Riddick.
I didn't say Theo Riddick. I said, but LeGarrette Blount will be.
So LeGarrette Blount's a first and second down back, and
yes, by the
Theo
end,
Riddick is a third down back. So if he can be a 3-down back,
by the end of the season, Kerryon Johnson will be playing ahead of LeGarrette Blount. And when I was studying Kerryon Johnson, part of why I was so excited, and I had to check with Jason. I'm like, Jason, are you seeing what I am seeing with Kerryon Johnson? And it was a guy who could be a 3-down back. That's why he was so exciting, is that he could do everything.
yeah, I guess I reserve judgment on the fact that the depth chart's thick. The offensive line struggled last year.
Oh,
he has to overcome a lot. And
does.
he's 20
Sure.
years old.
He absolutely does. That's one of my favorite parts. If you're in a dynasty league, I'm much more bullish on the long-term future of
Agreed.
Kerryon Johnson.
Sony Michel's 23.
He'll be 23 when the season
And
starts. That's a
Kerryon
big
Johnson will
gap.
be 20 still.
Yes.
That's pretty crazy for two rookies. All right, Ian Rappaport talked about the fact that barring a major injury, free agent Dez Bryant will likely wait until training camp to sign. Do you buy the hype that Dez Bryant would like you to buy, that this is all in his court? He's deciding where he's going. He is being patient. He's skipping these OTAs. He's not joining. Do you think it's all in his ballpark, or do you think that there's a chance Dez Bryant doesn't find the right fit this year?
I would say I'm mostly buying this. Just knowing how the NFL does things, I get that the public has turned on Dez Bryant, and it's okay. Dez is washed. He can't be productive. Maybe he doesn't have the ability to be a number one wide receiver anymore. But the way that guys get opportunities in the NFL, Dez Bryant will receive another opportunity. He's not going to be able to pick wherever he wants, but I do believe that as time goes by, as things get closer to training camp, his value actually does go up, and there will be more than a handful of teams that want to sign Dez.
I feel like it needs to come after injury, because I'm not entirely buying that he is waiting out. I mean, if an offer came to him that was something he liked, he wouldn't be like, I'm waiting out. I don't think he's getting those offers. And will he
because he wants a multi-year deal, or a 1-year deal to prove it. He got an offer from Baltimore. They confirmed that. He turned it down.
Right.
Now he's a good enough player to, even though he's not the same player he used to be, he's still a good enough player to come in and mess a depth chart up and mess our rankings up and
mess a locker room up.
Well,
but
yeah.
he could, and that's the fear
No,
that a
I'm
lot
just
of these
saying
teams
that
have.
we're going to talk about players, the ones and twos on these different teams, and if he joins the Packers, everything we've said about the Geronimo Allison a sleeper or Randall Cobb a value gets unsettled in that roster.
Certainly.
All right, the Jags offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett. He said that Corey Grant is a guy we've got to get out there more on offense.
You're darn right you do. I mean, Corey Grant is a lightning bolt every single time he's on the field and touches the ball. But Nathaniel Hackett, what was the problem? Why were you not getting him on the field?
One of our favorite comments from head coaches and offensive coordinators are comments like this, as though they weren't the ones deciding who goes on the field.
It is infuriating.
So from a fantasy perspective, I don't really see Corey Grant having a future.
I don't either, because I believe strongly that he is just he's
more valuable in real life than he is in fantasy.
They gave him a decent amount of money for a running back. They gave him that second-round tender, which I believe is the $2.9 million.
And Chris Ivory left.
Yeah, but TJ Yeldon is still there. I think he would be the primary beneficiary if something were to happen to Leonard Fournette. But Hackett is correct.
He being TJ Yeldon, in your opinion. That's what you're saying?
Yes, I think Yeldon, but I'm saying Hackett is correct. They need to figure out more big splash plays for Corey Grant. Does that translate into fantasy value? I think he's a great stash on the back of your dynasty roster, but as far as redraft goes, he's
not going to have enough volume.
Correct. Very, very unlikely.
Sterling Shepard has been seen or has been taking significantly more, that is in quotes, snaps on the outside during the offseason program. Sterling Shepard, is he projecting as the outside guy across Odell Beckham Jr.?
Yeah, he is, and I absolutely love this. Sterling Shepard can play anywhere on the field. The NFL is starting to prove more and more and change that you don't have to be a 6'3", 210-pound to play that outside role. It's about speed, and I believe that he'll be very good in that role, but he's clearly down on the mouths to feed chart. He's going to be behind Saquon. He's going to be behind Odell Beckham. And so now you're talking about a number 2B.
And he's probably going to compete with Evan Ingram for targets.
I was going to
who has, by the way, received hype today for how he's flashing in OTAs.
He certainly has. What's interesting for me to kind of try and put these puzzle pieces together, will they actually move, not completely, but will they start putting Ingram more into the slot? Because he played a lot of just traditional in-line. I know he was going out to catch passes, but I think it would be a wise decision for the Giants offense to utilize him just like they do Jordan Reed down in Washington. Get Shepard on the outside and put Ingram in the slot. You're going to create a lot of mismatches.
All right, Tevin Coleman expects to be more involved in the passing game this season.
Meh.
He does.
Get Freeman more involved in the pass game.
Yeah, I agree with that, but it's important to know when you look at who is saying it. You look at the different reports. You go, is this a beat writer? Is this a head coach? Is this an offensive coordinator? We talked about, okay, well, this is the running backs coach. This is Tevin Coleman. This is Coleman saying, I want to get more involved in the passing game this year. I do too, Tevin. I do too.
Tevin Coleman, 2 years ago, 40 targets. Last year, 39 targets.
So 41, maybe?
Yeah,
more involved?
Maybe. I'm just saying that his target volume did not change. Meanwhile, Devonta Freeman saw his target volume go down. That's the guy you need to get the receptions to.
All right. The Athletic has reported and believes that Doug Martin could push Marshawn Lynch for lead back duties.
Yes. This one deserves its own sound effect. Get out of here.
I believe it.
I
really
believe
do.
it.
Now, I am in between Andy and Mike because, Mike, the reason you don't believe
I'm not projecting it. I believe that it could happen. He's 29 years old. Marshawn's 33.
Right. But the reason that Mike does not believe it could happen is because you believe Doug Martin is finished. He's not going to be able to actually succeed. Is that fair?
I believe that, and I also believe Marshawn Lynch was actually good when he was given opportunity last year. And sure, without pads on, Doug Martin can probably look very impressive. Doug Martin he's
overdue for a 1,400-yard season, Mike.
Yeah, that's fair.
Way overdue.
The trend of 1,400 to 400, he's due, right? If we go with that, but he can't stay healthy. And as soon as Doug Martin is nicked up, which is not going to happen when you're running around without pads, as soon as he is nicked up, things go in the dumpster for Doug Martin.
Here's why I kind of buy it, and I agree that Martin is not going to succeed in that role, but I worry because of Gruden. Gruden has shipped out the old and brought in the new old guys, and he wants his team to be playing. Marshawn Lynch has kind of the face of the franchise. The Raiders, he embodies everything, and they're going to be traveling to Vegas. And I think Gruden wants to say, no, this is my team, and we're going to use my guys that I brought in. So I buy the hype a little bit in the sense that
he did.
Marshawn Lynch.
They restructured his deal.
Yes,
to make sure he stayed.
They restructured to make sure he stayed and took less money.
There were.
I mean, that's so that they could then go and pay.
Well, he restructured
207 carries last year for Marshawn Lynch. He had games of 7, 11, 13, 12, 9, 6. That was one of the things that makes me believe the split is possible. Supplanting, why? I don't think that's the mindset.
Right.
I think the mindset is, why not give them both 10 carries? Why not give them both 12 carries?
And they can.
Which would make Doug Martin a value if that was the reality
if
that
that's
existed.
the reality. But Jay, just for the contract, yes, during the restructure, his base pay moved down about $500,000, but it also turned from no guaranteed money into basically $4.5 million of guaranteed money. And Marshawn Lynch can earn up to $9.25 million this year. So the money is on Marshawn Lynch, not on Doug Martin, who's on his 1 year NFL scraps of a deal.
All right, it's that time of year again, guys. According to the Palm Beach Post, the Dolphins coaches say few, if any, players have spent more time in the building than Devontae Parker since last season ended. Now, if you remember, Devontae Parker has been famous for not spending as much time in the building as he should. Does this make him a world beater?
No. It's good. I mean, I would rather him be in the building than not. I'd rather him work hard and study film than not. But until he can separate, I think that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for him to separate on the NFL field. And I don't buy – I think there's certain teams, there's certain beat reporting groups in certain cities where you trust a little more and you trust a little less. And Miami has proven over the last several years – that they have a train station stop in Miami.
Honestly, if the news on Devontae Parker was Parker spends entire offseason working with Randy Moss or working with Antonio Brown, get a technician in there who can teach him how to really run routes, diversify his moves off of the line, okay, I would be moderately interested in this, but I mean, no matter how many times you run into a brick wall, if that wall's strong enough, it's just never coming down.
His problem has been technique. His problem has been health. And now Amendola, Albert Wilson, they come in to replace Landry. A lot has to go right. A lot has to go right for Devontae Parker to ever be what we hoped.
And he's got to break that contract that says he can only catch touchdowns in the final 2 minutes of an NFL game.
Right, which they still count. Albert Wilson, by the way, a standout at Dolphins OTAs to fit with the train station.
So Albert Wilson has been a standout at the Dolphins OTAs. You want to know who else has been a standout is Danny Amendola. Also getting a lot of pub. So their wide receiver
Ryan
core,
Tannehill. Tannehill getting a lot of pub.
Coming out, he's going to run. I mean, the Dolphins, man, they're looking.
Yeah. Have you seen Adam Gaze's new sunglasses?
Mm-hmm. Hey, actually, this is worth saying. I took a water bet with a listener.
Oh, I did too.
Oh, is it the same one?
I think all three of us did.
It did not. So
it was Cardinals versus Dolphins.
Oh yeah, I took that bet. Yeah, get it. Come on. I think the actual notable piece of news out of Hype Train Central Station, is the running backs coach will not name a starting running back.
Yeah.
For the Dolphins.
Yeah.
For the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
That's well, I believe Kenyon Drake, based on the brand new market share report, in the Ultimate Draft Kit, which I should have mentioned this and brought this up, but we've added a couple of new features to the Ultimate Draft Kit since its release at ultimatedraftkit.com. One of them, expanded cheat sheets, so we've added a couple of extras in there. The other one is a market share report that Mike has been working on that illustrates things like, hey, what target percentage does this wide receiver make up of the whole on their team? Hopkins being the big leader last year, and tons of really cool stats, but one of them was, I believe Kenyon Drake scored every rushing touchdown or something to that extent for the Dolphins last year. 100% of their rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Which also Orleans Darkwood did, who still has no job.
Well, when you have 4 rushing touchdowns.
By the way, did you see this crazy stat? Do you know what the longest pass thrown by Brett Hundley was last year?
Oh, man. That's got to be over 50 yards. 55! Oh!
Also the longest catch of Devontae Adams' season.
I will not lie. You got
Did
me.
I get you?
You got me.
Baby.
I did. I was like, what, 20 yards? Is it going to be just shockingly bad?
I had to work
But no, it was great.
Thank you. Couple other pieces of news before we get into our early sleepers, which is really exciting to talk about because the Ultimate Draft Kit has a bunch of our kind of consensus sleepers, but these are ones that are near and dear to our heart, some guys that maybe we disagree on, but we in particular look at them and we say, hey, that is a sleeper. That's what every fantasy owner and listener wants to identify early on. So we're going to talk about those in just a second. Real quick, though, let's start here. Browns reporter believes Duke Johnson, the role will be reduced to a degree this season. If you knew that Duke Johnson's role was shaved in, let's say it's half what it was last year from a pass-catching standpoint, does that change your perspective on Nick Chubb or Carlos Hyde?
No, it's what I already expected. I mean, you bring in Hyde, who just it was a pass catching machine last year.
Wasn't
the first
great.
time in his career.
He wasn't good at it.
He's not great at it. But Jarvis Landry is
that's
all right.
That's the bigger problem. Jarvis.
So since
and they did not extend him, right? They did not.
Not as of now.
This rumored extension for Duke Johnson never came to fruition.
No, and then Duke Johnson went on a Twitter
Twitter
session.
tantrum, man.
And
you learned that one from Sam Bradford.
I don't. I
don't want to learn your playbook.
I don't have Duke Johnson on my sleeper list this year.
Yeah,
put it that way.
unfortunately.
All right, and then some people want to know about this news that came out this morning. Kareem Hunt.
Sure.
A kind of a story broke
This is
that
bad news.
He had punched somebody in the face. They didn't know if charges were going to be levied. They didn't know what the story and situation was. Obviously, we're very sensitive to any of these issues that happen with players because even if you're not charged, you could have consequences from the league. But what's the latest, Mike?
So the latest we have heard is the victim of the face punching did not. Sorry,
That's like a lease and a leaseor.
I didn't mean to downplay.
Is that
it
a
like
punchor?
Yeah. Don't punch people in the face.
The punchy.
Come on.
No,
but
the punchy
did not need medical help, so that's a positive. And as of now, they were not going to file charges. So it sounds like it should be a non-issue.
All right, before we move on to the early sleepers, we do want to thank RX Bar for sponsoring today's podcast. RX Bar is a protein bar made with 100% whole ingredients. Whether you like sweet, savory, chocolate, fruit, there is an RX Bar flavor for you. There's 11 flavors, and I even have a reminder here about how much Brooks loves the blueberry flavor. Quote, can't get enough. Is that accurate, Brooks?
That's very accurate.
Yeah, so they are gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free, great for any occasion. The best, the absolute best protein bar. For 25% off your first order, visit rxbar.com/footballers and enter promo code footballers at checkout. For a limited time, every order will come with free samples. That free sample offer ends June 30th. You need to go to rxbar.com/footballers. We've had them around the office for a while. I love them. They're great.
And we are only, several handfuls of weeks away from actual NFL football.
Handfuls of
weeks. But, go see a game in person this year. I'm going to be taking my son for his first NFL game this year.
I am too.
Nice.
Which game are you going to go
whichever one you go to, best friend.
Going to the Broncos game.
The reality is this. Get your tickets the easiest, most efficient and effective and affordable way through SeatGeek. That's where we have used them for years. They make it such an easy ticket buying experience. They save time and money because they're doing the research. They're searching multiple ticket sites and prices. They get you amazing deals. It's easy to see which seats are the best. Just look for the big green dot. It's really, truly easy. Every purchase fully guaranteed. So, you can have confidence when you use the SeatGeek app. Download your app now, whether you're going to something or not. And then when you go to something, use SeatGeek to go to the actual event to get your tickets. Best of all, you get $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. Just download the app, enter promo code FOOTBALLERS. That's promo code FOOTBALLERS for $20 off your first ticket purchase.
If there's only a handful of weeks left before the season, you better act right now.
Sleepers.
Oh, it caught you off guard there.
No comment. No comment. It didn't necessarily catch me off guard. The way that Matt Castle and Bryce Petty's passer rating last year caught me off guard.
Oh, bad.
Well, I think I got Mike again.
No.
I think I got him again.
No, you didn't. I was trying to say, is it 5 less than 60?
Oh, well, I want to believe. All right, early sleeper picks.
Sleepers are great. Sleepers,
yeah,
you talk about things that make or break a fantasy season. Here's why sleepers are great. Sleepers, you nail it, it can make your fantasy season. But sleepers don't really break your fantasy season. These late round guys that you're grabbing, try to get someone that can make it, and if they don't, cut them. It's a make or nothing situation.
Yeah.
There's no breaking.
That's fair. That's good analysis. I went with, and we both picked, we all picked 2 guys,
yes,
by the way. So I'll start us off with a wide receiver, and his name is Mike Williams.
You do like this guy.
When you hear that name, you need to think upside sleeper.
That's not what I think.
He was the
speaking.
number 7 pick, obviously, in the draft last year by the Chargers. 6'4", 220 pounds, and we know the story. Last year, he missed the beginning portion of the season with a lingering back
I believe it was
herniated
a
disc issue. Came back briefly, then had a knee issue. It was basically a lost season for Mike Williams. Now we come into the new season. I know all 3 of us are pretty bullish on the Chargers and their offense overall, and Hunter Henry has gone down. There is a need, regardless of who they bring in to replace Henry, and yes, even if it's Antonio Gates or Julius Thomas, there is a significant third down red zone need outside of Keenan Allen on the Chargers, on the Los Angeles Chargers offense. And this is a player who right now, Mike Williams, he's basically undrafted in 10-team leagues. He's not going to be drafted. He's going to go in the 12th round right now in 12-team leagues. And the expectation of the coaching staff is that he fills the number 2 role. That's what they expect from him. Staff source said he's looking good. He's fast. He's explosive. He's making those great catches in traffic. The kind of catches where if you went back and you watched Deshaun Watson in Clemson, he was the best player on the field for that national championship game. And so the team expects him to fill that number 2 role. I still like what Travis Benjamin and Tyrell Williams have.
Tyrell.
They're good players. They're not made to do what Mike Williams can do. Those 2 players, Benjamin specifically, he's a field stretcher. Tyrell, he gets loose deep. He's a lot like Thielen. When the play breaks down, all of a sudden Tyrell Williams is open. Mike Williams is the player that's going to make his hay in the 10 zone, in the red zone. He's a big body. I like him. I think he's, like Jason said, you take no risk in grabbing him late, and he has the potential to be the number 2 for Phillip Rivers. That's a sleeper to me.
Yeah,
you guys have any thoughts, any weigh-ins there?
Look, I like it. With Hunter Henry going down, I do think the red zone, goal line situation, using him as a blocker, he is a very good blocker for a wide receiver, and losing Hunter Henry means they might just want him on the field more, and he might help kind of misdirect whether they're running or passing. So I do like it. I almost went – one of my sleepers that I thought about going with very close to was John Ross. Don't forget about him. But since you went Mike Williams, which was last year's rookie who got injured, who was high draft pick, I moved away from Ross. My guy that I want to bring up first.
Ross.
I like it.
Do you like it?
I got it a Ross. But no, I'm going to bring up a person who is one of Andy's all-time favorites. And by that I am being very sarcastic.
Facetious here, right?
He is a guy that I believe is a very good wide receiver. He's, he's not the most elite guy in the world, but he's been a quality NFL wide receiver, and that is Rishard Matthews. Rishard Matthews, before he got hurt in weeks 11 and 12 through the first 10 weeks of the season, was on pace for 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns, and that was in a putrid, horrible offense led by Terry Robisky and, old curmudgeon-y running the ball, slowing the game down.
It was exotic, Jason.
It was so smash-mouthy. And so I believe...
But it did not produce an all-star.
Thank you!
I'll be here all week.
Look, I was waiting for it.
I'm a big fan of the Titans' offense this year. I really am. I've risen on Corey Davis recently.
This is your preemptive strike, so I don't jump all over this Rishard Matthews thing.
No.
You've risen on Corey Davis.
I've risen on Corey Davis.
Corey Davis, Rishard Matthews.
I have right now Rishard Matthews ahead of Corey Davis, but either one could happen. But that's my point.
Me too.
Come on.
My point is this. Corey Davis, because he's got the upside of, maybe he will be a superstar. He's going in the 6th or 7th round. Okay, Rishard Matthews,
he should,
who very well could finish ahead of him, is going in the 12th round or undrafted.
It's because Rishard Matthews could sit up on his shoulder as he walked around. That's why.
Is this the Rishard Matthews that 2 seasons ago was the wide receiver 18?
945 and 9.
Yeah,
That's
look,
pretty nice.
Here's what I'm saying. He is a locked-in, guaranteed starter for an offense I expect to be better. I've got Mariota as my 11th quarterback overall. I think the offense will be better, and he's basically undrafted. So, those are
the undrafted part I get. You've made a strong case over the course of this offseason thus far about how much you believe the ball will be distributed amongst multiple targets: Taywan Taylor, Corey Davis, Rishard Matthews, Delaney Walker, Deion Lewis. And if you believe that, then you are really planting your flag on Rishard Matthews over a guy like Corey Davis at this point, obviously.
Yes, because I believe the ball's going to spread around. I want the guy that's going to cost me nothing in draft capital.
That's fine.
Over the guy that I'm going to have to give up a 6th or 7th round other pick for.
Sure, and what's great about that entire tale of Rishard Matthews is that when you led into it about me not liking a player, I thought you were going to bring up your other sleeper. So I clearly don't like either of your guys.
This is why
circle back
this
around
show is kind of the individual sleepers.
Yeah. So Mike, your turn. You went with you got a pair of wideouts.
Yeah, I got a pair of wideouts and a pair of guys who are going currently in the 14th round, according to Fantasy Football Calculator. The Washington situation is nebulous, and it is unknown. It is amorphous. We don't know who's going to be the guy. Jamison Crowder is still there.
Had some hype about Crowder today.
Was there?
Yeah, just talking about him and Alex Smith being on the same page all through OTAs.
Yeah, well,
we were a year late, maybe, or a year early on Crowder.
Yeah, we'll see. Jordan Reed, the shell of Jordan Reed is still there. I love Josh Doxson, but at this, for all purposes, this is really Josh Doxson's second year. He, like John Ross and Mike Williams, lost his entire rookie season, so last year was really his first year. I'm not writing him off, but I want to talk about Paul Richardson because the past 3 years, Alex Smith, despite last year was great, but before that, Alex Smith was not known as a fantasy stud who's going to put up massive numbers. But the last 3 years, he has supported at least one wide receiver 2 or better. Now, the past couple years, it has been Tyreek Hill. That's why I'm talking about Paul Richardson. He is the most like Tyreek Hill of this wide receiver core. They gave him a 5-year deal for $40 million, so the team is very interested in him. He runs a 4.4 and I believe that Tyreek is like a 4.34. Could be faster on the field.
He's a 4 flat in pads. Pads give him speed.
Yes. So, but 4.4, that's not much behind. He's a big play guy last year, 16 yards per reception, 3 touchdowns from outside of 20 yards or more. Plus, he had 3 touchdowns inside the 10 zone. He was able to get it done in both areas, which I like, where you had Tyreek Hill last year who, if memory serves, did not score a single red zone touchdown. So big plays, can get it done in short yardage areas as well. Plus the contract, someone in Washington is going to hit. And so what Jason's talking about, where you're
taking the best value of the players that could hit.
He believes in the passing offense of Tennessee. So why not just grab some chips that have fallen through the cracks? They're a little bit cheaper because there's
whereas Crowder is a 10th round pick.
Yeah, and Josh Doxson will go, I think, before Richardson. They're all going to be late. But I think that there will be value there. I know there will be value there somewhere. So why not go with the archetype that Alex Smith has had great success with the past 2 years?
Yeah, you don't want to pay up. I mean, it's similar to you make the chips analogy, and this is when I go to Vegas, I crawl around on my hands and knees, just looking for chips that have fallen, and I scoop those up.
Yeah, that is very.
It's a pro tip, and then
also
you run.
Did you get the email, Jason?
Now, do you mean potato chips?
Yeah. What? No, you said not potato. Oh, that's just
you're not allowed back in the casinos.
Yeah.
No,
we've told you this.
Dang it.
By the way,
here's the potato chip guy.
I understand that argument, and as it pertains to Rishard Matthews, but the reason that you draft Corey Davis and not Rishard Matthews isn't because you're just taking the best value at the position. It's because of what you said. He was the wide receiver 18 in a great season 2 years ago.
Right.
If you're shooting
the ceiling.
Yeah, if you're shooting for ceiling, you're probably not getting better than that, right? That would be best case scenario.
I would say, yeah, ceiling's like wide receiver 15.
Okay.
And I would agree with that. But I mean, that's what you can – that's really what you're usually looking for when you're talking about 12th, 13th round.
Yeah, and to Mike's point about Richardson, I would put my chips on Crowder in the 10th. That's not too expensive of a price for me.
No,
but I understand the money. If you follow the money, Paul Richardson has an opportunity with a quarterback who's performed lately. I'm going to go next. I got to break up these wide receivers.
That's fine.
Before we get back into some wide receivers. My second early sleeper is Corey Clement, running back.
This is one we all, I believe, we all love this one.
We're all on board with. And here's what we know in Philadelphia. We know this is the defending Super Bowl champ. And we know that LeGarrette Blount led the way with attempts last year, 173 attempts on the ground for the Eagles. He's gone. He's out the door. He's, I guess, just taking up space before Kerryon takes his job in Detroit. Corey Clement, to me, if he's going to produce on what I view as a sleeper opportunity for him, it's going to come on the ground, taking up, because that's what he wants to do. He wants to be more involved on the ground. Again, this is one of those like Tevin Coleman. I want to be more involved through the passing game. Corey Clement says, hey, he spent his offseason working on lower body extremity exercises, becoming stronger so he can get more balls on the ground. Because last year, he was a 4.2 rush per game guy after Jay Ajayi arrived. Now, LeGarrette Blount was there. After Ajayi arrived, Ajayi had 104 first and second down rushing attempts. Blount had 93. Clement had just 39 of those. But what I know about Corey Clement is the team likes him. He's fought his way and beat every odd to get there, despite the fact that he was a 3,100-yard, 36-touchdown guy at the University of Wisconsin. But had everything go right? Like Smallwood didn't perform, Pumphrey got hurt, Sproles went down. I do have a minor amount of concern that third down role and Sproles will be an issue for Corey Clement. But the thing that I really lean on here is with the opportunities on the ground, with what I've seen with my eyes of Corey Clement and his talent level, and then their ability and willingness to use him as the goal line type of running back, even if Ajayi's getting it between the 20s, it seems like they trust Corey Clement in the red zone.
Yes, they do. What was interesting was how, and read into this how you want, but the carries really did go away once Jay Ajayi showed up for the first half of the season when it was really Clement and LeGarrette Blount. I mean, he had 3 games of double-digit carries, but that all vanished. However, his targets, those started to go up in the second half. At the final third of the season, averaging about 2-3 targets, but then he was the Super Bowl hero.
Yeah.
5 targets, 4 receptions. 2 out of 3 playoff games, he had 5 targets. That is extremely interesting to me. There's talk about the hype train, the reports of Corey Clement's working with the first-string offense inside the red zone, and we saw it last year. They did not go to Jay Ajayi when they got inside the 10 zone. They went to Clement because they like how versatile he is. So I love it that he is going
100 yards and a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl hero
to cap
big time.
the year.
Yeah, no, I all three of us love that.
Very
whenever
versatile.
you have a young guy who's undrafted who then becomes
They have
key
to
in
earn
the
their
playoff-
way.
Yes, and then in the playoffs comes through for you over and over and over. You're going to get that guy more involved.
You're
gonna
about
say,
to talk about another undrafted player yourself.
I
there,
sure
Mr.
am. Another
Moore.
guy that Andy Holloway says is one of the best players who's ever donned the helmet.
I heard it.
That's what my quote exactly. Ever
Ever
donned the
donned
helmet.
a helmet. Let me give you a couple names I almost went with here.
I've said that for a handful of weeks.
Very, very nice. I almost went Ed Dixon, Luke Wilson, Ricky Seals-Jones. You could go with the tight end sleepers. I liked Ryan Grant, the number 2 in Indy, but
That's an
ultimately,
interesting one. We haven't talked about. Let's make a note to talk about Ryan Grant at some point.
Ryan Grant and Chester Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly I was going to do Ryan Grant. I will say this: I looked up Andrew Luck in his good seasons, his wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was disappointed, which is why I am now. Look, this guy is less of a sleeper. I don't think he's like a deep sleeper, but he's still going in double-digit rounds, and people need to be aware because where he's being drafted is ridiculous. Alan Hurns is walking into the starting wide receiver role, either 1A or 1B,
Fair.
for a team that lost 50%. I wish it was 5 more, but 50% of their targets. Okay, I mean, you have Des Bryant gone, Jason Witten gone, Bryce Butler gone. That's 242 targets, 50%, 147 receptions, which is 47%, and here's the real kicker, 14 of Dak's 22 touchdowns are gone. That Dak is going to throw 20-plus touchdowns this year.
Oh, I thought they were just gone. Like
They're-
you don't get them back. There's no way
Dak's
to
gonna
recover
throw
them.
about 6 or 7 touchdowns this season. It's bad news
I
for
want
the
to know
Cowboys.
what that voice was. Oh, Dak's gonna
Yeah.
throw.
So, Michael Gallup is going
Who we
to get
like, yeah.
more and more and more buzz as we get close to the season, and he will be right up there. Right now, he's going behind Alan Hurns, but I think as we get close to draft season, people
Right now,
might
it's just a
even,
trot.
oh yeah, but you think towards the season?
Oh,
It'll be more
it'd
of
be a full.
I
Gallup.
say nay to that.
Yeah.
Bad horse pun.
Look, Alan Hurns is listed at 6'3".
I'll be here all week.
Man. Alan Hurns is listed at 6'3".
I'm on fire.
I'm not sure he's actually 6'3". I think his college, his pro day measurement was closer to 6'2", but whatever. He's a tall guy.
Why are you
It is-
taking an inch away from him, Jason?
Why is
I
that
just want the
important?
truth.
That's rude.
Well, the reason it's important is because
Tippy toes. He's more of a 6'3.5".
the reason it's important is because Des Bryant and Jason Witten are big-bodied targets.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that need to be replaced, and Alan Hurns is bigger than Michael Gallup. Alan Hurns is coming in after having – look, his
Do you think if you
sophomore
saddle
year,
him with that kind of a role that things will work out?
Oh, mercy.
He can't even get back on
Alan
track.
Hurns, Alan Hurns, he's fast. He can hoove it down that field.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Clippity-clop, clippity-clop, my hooves. All right.
You were saying
we need to get back
I think
on
you were in the middle
tra-
of talking about the height of Alan Hurns and whether it was 6'2" or 6'3".
I was talking about how in Alan Hurns' second season, he was a 1,000-yard, 10-touchdown guy with Blake freaking Bortles.
How dare you?
So my point is this.
Blake the snake.
Alan Hurns cannot be a bad wide receiver. You can't be a bad wide receiver and get 1,010 with Blake Bortles as your quarterback. That is
Okay,
hard.
You're saying he's
nay, impossible.
just. Let me ask the resident Cowboy fan here, Brooks. You are a Cowboy truther. Are you excited? Were you excited about the signing of Alan Hurns?
Yeah, just because we needed somebody.
By the way,
Yeah, you guys still need Des Bryant.
Anybody-
I meant to ask you guys this as well. Do you think Rod Smith gets any more carries than he did last year?
no.
No.
Do you know how many he had?
How many?
Oh! All right, couple more things to bring up with Alan Hurns because I think it's important when you talk about, okay,
I don't want to talk about Michael Gallup, though.
we don't know if it's going to be Hurns or if it's going to be Gallup. We don't know. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Alan Hurns was offered
It'll be a kind of a derby to see who ends up.
Alan Hurns was offered multiple contracts prior to his visit to Dallas. The New York Jets offered him a larger contract, and when Allen Hurns went to Dallas, he told his agent, I want to play here. I will take less money to be here. This is where he wants to be. And here's a quote from this offseason.
He made a bunch of hay.
You're telling me a wide receiver would rather not play for the New York Jets?
And would rather play. Well,
we don't know the other teams.
Everybody wants to play for the Cowboys.
There were multiple contracts that were offered. But
okay.
Dak Prescott, here's what he says. He says, I love what Allen does. He's one of the smartest receivers we have. He can move all the way across the board from X to Z, inside, knows defenses. He's just getting better. He's a guy that I love to come in each and every day and work with. When the wide receiver wants to be there, when the opportunity is there, when the quarterback says this is the guy, I think Allen Hurns will be the number one receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. He's going in the double-digit rounds.
Did Dak say that Allen Hurns would be his main wide receiver?
His main guy.
At any case, we know that he's financially stable now.
Oh, yes. Very nice. Well done.
They didn't make a spur-of-the-moment decision. They basically...
Someone Googled horse phrases over there.
You know
You're cheating.
I actually have to correct myself. I found his height.
Yeah?
It's 14 hands. 14 hands tall. That is...
Wow.
There we go.
That's deep
right.
because I don't know if people realize that they actually do this.
Yeah,
They do what?
That's how you measure a horse.
They measure horses in hands.
And like with like an actual tape measure, right?
No.
Just hands?
Hands.
Whose
Just-
hands? Is this Andre the Giant?
It's whoever
Three
has-
hands.
Whoever's got a hand there. That's your hand.
Wow.
You're the measuring.
All right, Mike.
All right, Mike's got. He's going to close out our
Please
sleepers.
get us far away from Michael Gallup.
We got it. Well, I can't get away from Allen Hurns because I'm going with a wide receiver who will be catching passes from Blake the Snake Bortles. I want to talk about Dede Westbrook. I love me some targets. I love targets.
Fair.
I eat them up. Delicious. And Dede Westbrook, once he got on the field, because he struggled with some injuries at the beginning of the season, 6 of 7 games, he had 6 or more targets. He was on a target pace of 117. That is a delightful number.
It's excellent for a rookie.
Delightful.
Nice. Delightful. Like I had said earlier, both my wide receiver sleepers, 14th round. And here's what I want out of a sleeper. You want that quick start, that hot start right out of the gate. Jacksonville, if you look at our strength of schedule in the ultimate draft kit, they have the second easiest schedule for a quarterback and the second easiest for a wide receiver. That's overall. Now, we talk about it's hard to really, truly value an entire season. But the first 4 games, Jacksonville has the easiest path for quarterback and the 5th easiest for a wide receiver. So the path is there for Jacksonville to get off to a nice start, especially in the passing game. I like Dante Moncrief being there. I like it a lot. I like the fact that someone is big and fast and can separate and can actually stretch the field, unlike Marquise Lee. I think that helps things out for Dede underneath. So I'm very interested.
I'm going to ask you a question. How much do you buy into kind of, when Tom Coughlin came in there and took over at the operations level?
Right.
I like that Dede was part of that investment by Coughlin.
Right.
I like that Moncrief was part of that investment. We looked at the reception-perception numbers for Marquise Lee.
They bad.
They real bad. And then Allen Hurns was – I'm sorry, not Allen Hurns, but Keelan Cole was part of, again,
right,
that investment by the Coughlin regime. You wonder the confidence level that they had in Dede. Like, if they're not dumb, right? They know what Marquise Lee does on the field. Yet they let Allen Robinson leave. And maybe they let Allen Robinson lead more because of their confidence in a player like Dede, the development of a Keelan Cole, and the opportunity to sign a Moncrief than their confidence in Marquise Lee.
Yeah, I won't disagree with that. And I think that Dede's role is secure. I don't think the other wide receivers on that team fill that role like Dede can, where if Moncrief flames out, they got DJ Chark waiting in the – I mean, they have speed guys, but Dede running those underneath routes, getting all those targets, and like I said, that schedule right away, it could be big things early for Dede.
Interesting. So our early sleeper individual picks, Mike Williams, Corey Clement, Rishard Matthews, Allen Hurns, Paul Richardson, and Dede Westbrook. Feel free to weigh in on Twitter at the FF Baller. Share your thoughts. with us, or if there's some other guys that stood out to you,
And we have our
or
list
players
of,
you're curious
You
about.
know what we have to do?
What?
We got Brooks. Get this. We need a poll. Favorite pair.
Oh,
Favorite.
I
Pick,
like that.
pick
Yeah.
your favorite pair of sleepers.
yeah, that's good. That's really
and
good.
make the right decision.
yeah.
That's WRIGHT.
Goodness
Okay.
gracious.
Well, the puns are crazy. We need to rein it in.
I was trying to
Is that
figure out.
another horse?
Yes,
one?
it was another
Yes!
horse one.
Yes, we made it back.
Got there. We got
Bring in the
there.
reins on it. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening to this episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. You can find all of our other sleepers in the Ultimate Draft Kit at ultimatedraftkit.com, along with Mike's brand new market share report,
I'm
our
showing-
expanded cheat sheets, 100-plus player profile videos, and piles of other goodness at ultimatedraftkit.com.
I don't often bring it up, but I'm showing this episode to my mom. I'm just so
Yeah?
proud of what we have done today, fellas.
Is she a big horse fan?
Big time.
Big.
Big time. Hey,
All
check
right.
out draft.com. Play some best ball. It's what you got to do over the summer. See you next time, Foot Clan. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.